y'all, it's June and I'm coming at you with a story time. So I'm gonna tell you the story of this one time, a dating fail really, because you know how you see a guy and you're like, oh, he cute, oh, he fine, I want him, and then you actually end up dating them and then they're like, oh, or you're like, oh, you're not what I thought you were gonna be like. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you this time that happened. So one night long ago, like probably 3 years ago now, I was at a club with my friends. I feel like that's how every great story starts. I was at the club. Well, it was a hookah lounge with my friends, and I seen this guy walk in and I'm like, oh, he's cute. Oh, he was so cute to me. He had dreads. He was Hispanic and he had dreads. I don't know how y'all might feel about that, but I thought it was sexy as hell. And he just looked good. He had great eyebrows, mind you. And yeah, with the minute he walked in, like, I swear to God, I made my presence be known. Like, he walked in and I locked eyes with him, and I made sure I locked them eyes with him. I was like, you know, did the whole flirty thing, like, oh, I didn't do all that, but he saw me. And like, I would say within 5 minutes of him being in the lounge, like halfway, like he was across the room and I'm sitting down with my friends, he like, oh, I remember what happened. I told my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna walk to the bathroom. So I knew I would walk past him because he was like in the direction, in the path to get to the bathroom. I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, but I really just want this to see me. So yeah, like walk with me. And she was like, yeah, I bet, whatever, let's go. So she walked with me to the bathroom. And when I walked past him, well, actually, I was wearing heels that night. I was wearing like some knee-high boots. And when I walked up to him, like, he was like eye level with me. If not, probably, I don't know. He was just short. It was short, but I must have been like, I probably didn't care. I thought he was so cute, I didn't even care. And I mean, I didn't, because I continued to talk to him even after the fact. So yeah, I walked past him going to the bathroom, and you know, I had my girlfriend behind me, and I think he like looked me like up and down. He was like, what's up, what's up? I was like, what's up? And I'm like, I can't remember if we kind of like stopped and had like a little exchange before I went to the bathroom. Oh, I think it might have been like when I was walking back from the bathroom. Like, you know, we talked a little bit and he ended up like asking me for my number, asking me to dance or something like that. I don't know, but we were just talking, you know. I had it in the bag. I got it in the bag. I see it, I want it, I get it. So yeah, that happened. And I think, I really can't remember, but I know we ended up talking. He took me out a couple of times. I can't really remember. The only date of ours that I seem to remember was going boating. Like, we went to a lake. We didn't even go on a boat. What did we even do? We just went to like a park by a lake, and we had like a little picnic type situation. I think after the fact, like, we would go out together because I met him when we were going out. He liked going out a lot. At the time, I was going out a lot with my friends too. I was young. I wasn't even like legal drinking age yet, but I'd be out in the scene all the time. I can't really remember any of our dates. I just remember like every time we would hang out, I would get increasingly annoyed, like just turned off by something he would do. He didn't get my humor. Like, there was one time I joked about like peeing in my car, like in a cup. Like, we were in my car and I had a cup, a Chick-fil-A cup, an old Chick-fil-A cup. And he was like, oh, can I throw this out? Like, what's in here? And I was like, oh, I used that to pee in there. Like, I peed in there. I like joking, I don't know, because I just thought it was funny. It wasn't even that funny. And he like believed me. He was like, oh, ew, gross. And like threw it out the window. I'm like, nigga, I'm joking. Like, why would I leave a cup full of piss in my car? It was like lemonade or like water or something. And I was like, damn, this don't even get my sense of humor. Every time I would joke, like, it would never go through. So eventually I ghosted the guy. So there was one time we went out and we ended up, I don't even think this was like at night. I think it was just a day I went over to his house, and he still stayed with his parents and his sister and whatever, I don't know. But we went over. He had like a home studio because I think he's like a music producer. He like produces music or something like that. He makes music. So I went over his house and I saw his little studio. We watched a movie, we chilled, we Netflixed and chilled. And I remember, like, I think we ended up falling asleep in his bed. And it was so awkward because his mom, I think, ended up waking us up. Like, she came in the room while we were like in the bed, and she was like asking him something like in Spanish, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so fucking awkward. I'm like in here in bed with your son, and I'm a black girl. Like, how, you know, as a black girl, you always have to like keep that in your mind. Like, how do people react to like their son or daughter like dating somebody out their race? Like, it just crossed my mind. Like, I was hella uncomfortable. So with that being said, I don't know what the was going on there, but they yep, whatever. And then she left, and I'm like, that's kind of awkward. And then I ended up like going home, right? And at this point, I'm like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. So I think throughout the years, like, I would see him here and there, but then again, after I ghosted him, like, I did not see this guy. Anytime I went out, I never saw him. Fast forward like 2 years, 3 years. Yeah, that was like 3 years ago. A few months ago, or like earlier last year of 2019, I was out again, you know, making my debut back because I hadn't been going out that much. And this is like the shittiest night ever. At this point, I'm talking to another guy. It's all good, but I'm a hot mess still. I go out. I didn't even want to be out this night, mind you. I went out for my friend's birthday. And yeah, like, I did not want to be there at all. Like, I wasn't feeling my outfit. Oh, so yeah, we went out that night. How many times am I gonna say that? We went out, right? And as I'm parking to get to the destination, because we had to like park a block over, I'm trying to parallel park because, you know, downtown, there's no park. Like, you have to parallel park 9 times out of 10. And I'm usually a beast at parallel parking, okay? And I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happened. I looked to my left, and I seen there was like a cop across the street at another venue, like doing security. And it must have like made me nervous, but I was like parallel parking, and I tapped. I didn't even hit. I tapped the car that was behind me. Mind you, this car, well, yeah, I'm gonna get to that later. So yeah, I tapped the car. I didn't even think anybody would notice, you know? I mean, like, you could hear it. Like, can I demonstrate? If this is me and this is the car, it was like touched. And then I just like, I didn't even have to like, no damage was done, like nothing. But the cop across the street saw me do that, and he moseyed on down and was like didn't ask no questions, like already had his like ready to write me up a ticket or a citation or whatever. Because also my tags were expired, but only by like a month, bro. Well, it wasn't even that bad. It wasn't that bad. But so yeah, as I was getting out the car, because I've seen the cop, I would have like left it at that if the cop didn't walk across the street. But I saw him coming across the street, so I'm like, we have to get out. And this is really irresponsible, y'all, but we had some stuff in the car. We had like a bottle in the car. I don't think it was open yet, but like it had been in there because we wanted to like pregame before we went inside. So like that looked really bad, but luckily, like, I don't know how he didn't see any of that in the car. But see, like, when I'm getting out the car, you know, I'm like, so I'm not in my right mind. I wasn't drunk, but I just was like nervous, like what the fuck he's gonna think, that I'm like up because I tapped the car behind me, but really I'm just a shitty parker. And I locked my key and my wallet in my car. So, and I didn't realize that until like he asked me for like my license and registration. I'm like, oh my god, like, it's in my car, like I don't have it on me. I think I don't know what I left in my car, but I had my license on me, but I left everything else in my car. I mean, my ID, yeah, my license, ID, same thing. And then he like ran my tags. He saw that it was expired. It was like a show. My insurance had lapsed, and then my keys were in my car, locked in my car. And that was the second time that had happened, like within the past 2 weeks. Yeah, I know. That can be another story time. 2 of the other times, like, it wasn't my fault, but tonight was my fault for being a dumbass. So yeah, like, that happened. He wrote me a ticket, a citation or whatever. And come to find out, the car, mind you, when he walked across the street, he told me, yeah, that car's been parked here all day, like, for like the past 2 days, like something like that. And like nobody's come to get it. The paint job was shoddy as on that car. I don't think it was literally, oh my god, she just like saw me. That was so awkward. I hate having a room at the front of my complex. But like, the car looked abandoned, like, and the tags itself on that car were from 2018, so they were a year late, you know. So clearly nobody had been driving that car, but they decided to park it on this really busy downtown street. And I'm, you know, whatever. So yeah, he writes me my ticket, whatever. I really wanted to go home at this point because I didn't even want to be out in the first place. But it's like, I really couldn't even go anywhere because my keys were in my car. I could have Ubered. I think I ended up having the guy that I talked to, like, Uber me. Or I don't know what happened, but, like, I Ubered to my friend's house. And then, like, I Ubered to the guy. It was a lot. So, boom, that happens. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm already here. You know what? Let's still go out. I mean, we really didn't have a choice because... like I went through all that just to turn around and go home. Like, no. So we went in the club, and who was I with? I don't even think this was the same night. Oh, so I ran into this twice. So this was the first night that I'd seen him, or the first night. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I swear to God, God was like lining the stars up for me to run into this man again, because it happened 2 times in the same month. So this night, yeah, I went in the club. I was at the bar. Was it the same night? Anyway, I remember we were walking across the street to the club, and I seen the dude, old dude from 3 years prior. Okay, let's call him A. Oh, like Pretty Little Liars. I'm gonna call him A. So I seen A, and I'm like, yo, oh my God, like, that's A, blah, 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 blah. I did not want him to see me, so I didn't even mention it. I didn't say, and I was already having a shitty night, so I'm like, but lo and behold, he ended up peeping me. Well, oh, I remember what happened. I seen his friend first. So his friend came up to talk to me. Because, like, I'm like, you look mad familiar, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And then he ended up seeing me, and they were, like, smoking a blunt outside the club, which, how are they doing that? We're not really thinking about it. That's why I was standing by them, because I was kind of like trying to take a hit. But, like, on a street, like, I live on the East Coast. Like, it's not legal here. So I don't know why they just were like on some fucking. That is so crazy to me, thinking back, like, wow. And the fact that I partook in that's crazy. But yeah, so he ended up seeing me, and he was like, oh my God, like, I haven't seen you in so long. Like, how have you been? And we like exchanged numbers again. I don't know why he did that. Or he still had my number. Yeah, we still had each other's number. And, like, I remember when I went back to the car, when we were leaving, he, like, followed me. And that's when, like, you know, we got each other's number, and we found out we still had each other's number. And he was like, yeah, like, you know, I'd like to catch up sometime, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I was just kind of, like, really thrown off guard. Oh, I remember, because I think I did have my wallet. I left something, like, at the club, and he had, like, come to give it back to me, because I was like, it was such an off night. Like, I don't think I was meant to be out that night. Like, he had, like, followed me across the street to, like, give it to me, and, like, that's when we exchanged numbers or whatever. So then, fast forward, like, I don't know, the next week, I'm back at I don't know, it was, like, sometime in the general time span of things. I was at the club again with my friend Kim, and we're at the bar. And it was a Wednesday. I only know that because I was wearing heels, and you had to wear heels to get in, like, for free for, like, R&B Wednesday at this club, which is, like, shut down now. They went out of business. So how'd that work out for y'all? You know, having me suffer wearing heels. I took my heels off that night because I'm like, this shit. And I never wore heels back there again because they were letting me there with slides. And, like, we went inside, and it was girls out in there with flip-flops. And I'm over here in 5-inch heels trying to look cute just to get it free, but I was getting free anyway, so what the anyway, so I look over and I see A, and I'm like, I tell Kim, I'm like, oh my God, Kim, it's A, it's A. I think, oh, okay, so let me tell you something funny that happened before that. When we were at the bar, like, we were at the bar because we already got our drinks, we were kind of like chilling. And I was, like, literally using the bar to, like, hold myself up because my feet hurt so bad. And I noticed, like, these 2 girls wanted to, like, get by the bar. The bar was, like, hella packed. Like, you know how you can never get a space in to get order a drink at the bar? I could tell these 2 girls, like, near us were trying to get in and order a drink. And I'm like, we're just sitting here. We already have our drinks. And I told them, like, oh, yeah, you know, you guys can just come here and order a drink. Like, we already have our drinks. And they're like, oh, thank you, thank you. And they spoke, like, broken English. So I later found out they're from, like, the Czech Republic. Really cool. And they're really cool, cute. I mean, they're cute, yeah, but they're really cool girls. I met them for, like, a little bit. And then I think that was, like, after that I'd seen A and his sister too. And before this, I felt like his sister had hated me, because I did see them. I had ran into him like once before, like the year prior at the state fair, and I'd seen his sister, and I swear to God, I think she'd seen me too, and like she gave me like the meanest glare, like it was this snake faced me, because like I ghosted her brother or whatever. So I seen her, and I'm like, oh my God, whatever, blah blah blah. I go to the bathroom. I'm like, Kim, I'm going to the bathroom, and she comes with me. She's like, okay. Guess who the walks in the bathroom? A's sister, okay, when we're in there. But Kim had met his sister and him before, because the night that I met him and like other times we've been out, like they had met. So, but she just didn't remember who she was, but I did. And we were in the bathroom. I'm sitting on the counter because I could not stand on my feet anymore. And his sister comes up to me and she's like, oh my God, like she's drunk as fuck, mind you. So she comes in the bathroom, drunk as hell, talking about some, oh my God, you're so bad, like you're a bad, so pretty, blah 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 blah. And then she says, my brother would love you. I was like, only if you knew. I was like pretending like I didn't know who the she was talking about. I don't know why I did that, because eventually she like found out, because his sister is mad cool. Like I actually really with his sister. I love her. We were like in there chopping it up, because we're talking about how she looks like Zoe Saldana. Who's that like old Latina actress that looks really good for her age? Not Sofia Vergara, the other one. I don't know, but she looks just like, not just like her, but she looks similar to her. So we were talking and she was like, oh my God, like what's your number? Like, you want to go out there and meet my brother? Like my brother's right out there. And I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. And then like, you know, then she's talking to Kim, and it's just so funny because I'm like, oh my God, like she really has no clue who I am right now. And as we're talking more, like we're on Instagram, because, you know, we go on the Latina actress's Instagram page, and she's like, oh, what's your Instagram? And I'm like, is this June? She was like, what? And she's like, I'm like, is this June? She was like the month? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, wait, I know you. And then it fucking hit her. And luckily she wasn't mad. Like she was like, oh my, she thought it was funny. She was like, oh my God, that's so funny. You know, like, and then she proceeds to tell me like how her brother really liked me, and like how, I don't know, like how he'd been talking about me like months after I stopped talking to him and all this bullshit. And I'm like, I don't want to hear this right now. Like I ghost for a reason, okay? But eventually, like we had to leave the bathroom. Or no, I think I was like, oh, like I have to go change my shoes, because I really couldn't take it. And she walked me to my car. So because I had flip-flops in my car, so she walked with me to my car, and we were like really hitting it off. Like, look, we felt like besties that night. And it was so funny because like, oh, why is he waving to me? My neighbor just fucking waved to me in his car. He was already pulled out and he's waving. Like, I'm in my room. You need to pretend like you can't see me. That's embarrassing. I hate it here. So yeah, we were like chopping it up. We're back, and eventually, you know, I meet the brother again, and mad awkward. I low-key had a crush on the sister though, because she was like really cute, really cool. Like we vibed way better than me and her brother. I don't know how them two were related, because she was like really like fun and like spur of the moment, like a really like fun girl, and his brother was like more of like chill, like laid back, like yeah, I make music, yeah. So yeah, and I think like we tried meeting up like one time after that, and just it won't hit, right? And I'm like, yeah, this is like not gonna work out. Or we like we're trying to talk and text, and I'm like, I know I don't want this. Like we tried this 2 years before. It's nothing's changed. Oh yeah, we did end up going out. He invited me out on his sister's birthday. And at this point I already decided I liked his sister more than I liked him. We went out to like some, I want to say like some bar, but they played like hella like bachata music, like that's all they were playing, I think. Yeah, it was like a Dominican club. It was something like a bar dance room type thing, and his family was there. His sister was there, his cousins were there, their boyfriends were there, and I met all of them. Like, yeah, this is June. Like, bro, I did not want to meet his family. Basically, it was his family on his sister's birthday, and I already knew I was not into him, because like we were sitting in the booth, and like he was trying to talk to me and like all that, be close to me, and I just like was like not having it. Like we were just not vibing. There was no chemistry whatsoever. And then we danced, and like, bro, I was like trying so hard. It felt so awkward and forced for me. And I'm like, how do you not pick up on the feeling, like on the vibes right now? Like, I don't get it. Like, and it makes me think like it's one-sided for some people. Like you might think one thing and other, I mean, that's really how it is. Like you can think one thing, but the other person thinks like it's great. But I'm like, I was not feeling like, we were trying to like, he was teaching me how to bachata, and I'm like, I already had somebody teach me before, but I'm just not feeling you. That's why it's not feeling right. So yeah, like that happened. We were still trying to talk after that, and I just couldn't do it. I ended up ghosting him again, which I learned my lesson. I don't like ghosting. If I don't like a guy, I'm gonna let it be known. I'm gonna be straightforward. I was young, and I have a hard time like being real about my feelings if I feel like it's gonna hurt the other person. But then I realized ghosting them doesn't make any better. Like I would rather you be honest and hurt my feelings than to just leave me hanging. So yeah, luckily I haven't run into him, but I haven't been down to that town, like downtown, in like ever, in like months. So yeah, it was just really funny running into him like 2-3 times in the same month, and then running into his sister and telling me like, oh, my brother would love you, and it's like, I've already dated your brother and he's not now. Yeah, and it was just like little things here and there that he would do, and I'm like, yeah, we're not compatible. We're not, like, he would just, like, the flow of our conversations wouldn't even be great. Like, me and his friend vibe better than me and him. So yeah, since that was such a short story and kind of anticlimactic, like in my head it would feel way more climatic because it was really funny. But yeah, I have a lot more hot mess story times. I'm gonna make a series called the hot mess story times, because I'm a hot mess. I get myself into some dumb shit when I know better, but like, I don't know, life just leads me there. I think God knows I'm like more vulnerable to bullshit, so he like puts me through it so I'll learn, but I never do. Now I do. I'm older, a little wiser. So, but yeah, that is the time that I ran into a guy, met his sister. Like, really, what was the point of that story? It was just funny. And like locked my key in my car like 2 times. So yeah, that's it, and I will see you in another video.